Good morning, welcome to a morning review on Friday the 28th of November. This is Kim Watson speaking for Easy Trader. Okay, looking at the euro dollar first, and from a daily perspective, we ended up with an inside day yesterday. In fact, at the moment we've already had some continuation to the downside. Looking at the 4 hourly charts, and we've got sort of 2 points here that I'm noting in terms of the lower high, which was confirmed by the lower low popped in there. So we've had a movement, opposite movement, which is again being confirmed once again with this break of these prior lows from here. So we're certainly putting in a series of lower highs at the moment and lower lows. The other thing we have is we've broken the trend line here, which really would suggest we could see a continuation to the downside. However, in the short term, at least, looking at above us, we do have the daily pivot, which has a reasonable chance of being hit at 124.85. Now it's just struggling at the moment to move up there, but if we can get past the 20 moving average, the hourly 20 and 34, that could be a reasonable target for the upside. Alternatively, if it cannot get back and it rolls below my trend line here, it's quite a significant line in the sand. We had quite a lot of support resistance across this level. If we see that broken, then really we probably see further continuation to the downside. So very simple there. Looking at the pound dollar, again quite bearish, well, probably slightly more bearish in some respects, in terms of we made a new high but didn't manage to capitalize on it. Although we haven't broken the trend, so there's a couple of things that are slightly different with cable at the moment. From a 4 hourly point of view, we have put a lower high in now. So the original high there, we've had a bit of a retrace and a bit of a high here, and we've then broken that, so there's a lower high, but we haven't actually broken this trend line that is running up here. So at the moment it stays marginally more sort of bullish than the euro. Looking as we come down the time frames, and well, similar thing in terms of we've got the daily pivot above us, which at 157.59, which could see us push up to that sort of level. Looking to the downside here, really possibly even just looking at near-term lows here, and if we see those broken and run down towards that 200, or maybe we end up with missing the pivots altogether. To get long on this, if I was looking for long positions to play towards that pivot, really need to see it break above the 34 and the 21 moving averages, because at the moment they may provide too much resistance. So really need it to break above that. If it does break above that area, I'd be looking for the longs back towards the daily pivot, maybe beyond. One thing to bear in mind today, of course, it's Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving. Quite a lot of traders extend their holidays through to the weekend, so I expect volumes, particularly in the afternoon, to be lighter again. Okay, that's it for me. Hope you have a great day. Bye for now. Sorry, one last final thing there before I just completely disappear. Just to remembered, we do have the European flash estimate of the inflation figures out this morning at 10 o'clock, which could create a bit of volatility. This is particularly taking into account that next week is the last interest rate decision meeting before the new year, of course. More importantly, it's looking at whether some of those fiscal measures that they've changed in Europe will actually or are taking effect. So they'll be looking at that. They'll be looking at inflation. If inflation is particularly low, I would expect the dollar maybe tip over, potentially some more. Okay, that's it for me. Have a great one. Bye for now.